To create quotes in Xero from the dashboard, navigate to Business and then down to Quotes. On the top right in the green button, you have New Quote. From here, you can enter the customer name, the date of the quote and the date it expires. For this example, we'll use 30 days. If you have any references, you can enter that. And if you have multi-currency enabled on Xero, you can also switch between different currencies. Your description is what you are quoting for, and this can have many lines by adding rows, the quantity, and the price. You can then set which nominal code you would want it to go to if they accepted the quote within Xero, and then you can also enter a region or a department under any tracking that you already have set up. You then have the terms in the bottom section, which you can manually add in, or if you have the same terms of your quotes, you can enter these in your invoice templates at the bottom here, which I've shown how to do in a previous video. Once you're happy with the quote, you can save it in draft and come back to it if perhaps you're waiting on some details, or you can send it. By clicking the send, you select the email address and you can amend your wording, or you can use the template that is set up. For this option, I'm just going to mark it as sent. When you navigate back to the quotes section, if we had saved it as draft, it would sit under the draft section, but this one is marking as sent, so it's sat under the sent section. Once the customer has looked at the quote and if they've decided what they want to do with it, you can go back into the quote and you can either mark it as declined, perhaps they have decided not to proceed. You can revise the quote if they've asked for a reduced service or they've asked for more work to be sent, or you can mark it as accepted because they have decided to proceed. Once you have marked it as accepted, you can then directly either leave it as quote and come back to it when you've created the work, or you can create it as an invoice. I would usually suggest creating it as an invoice and mark the quote as invoice and then create. It will then copy everything across that you've already done. What you would need to then just amend is the invoice date and the due date. Check you're happy with the description. You might want to then amend it with a bit more detail. You might want to change the nominal code if you have changed your Xero recently. But if you are happy, you can either save it as draft and actually send it once the work has been done, or approve and email it straight from here.